Hello, thanks for joining me. Today's video is a cassette video, and I've got about 30 to show you heavy metal, hard rock cassettes. I keep them all in this sort of setup here, sliding drawer setup. So I'll take you through them all. Lots of my early collecting was in this format, and I used to get them like this. These were all the ones from the music shops, and people would home tape, and then they'd go into the music shop and they'd steal the cover slicks and take them home. So then they could put them on the shelf with their home taped version of the album, and then they'd steal the cover slicks from the shop. So there used to be bins of these cassettes without the covers, and I used to go through and pick out all the ones I thought I'd like. So this was one I got. This is Van Halen's debut on cassette, so it's got no cover. But all the rest I'm going to show you have covers. First one is Love Hate, Wanted in America. Wasted in America, and this was released in 1992. There you go. There. There's the shell. Okay. The Cult, Sonic Temple. This is their fourth album, came out in 1989. And of course, this has got the singles Firewoman, Edie Shell Baby, yeah, and that. This is Infest the Rat's Nest by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Believe it or not, this is their 15th album, came out in 2019. And this band tries all sorts of different music styles, but in this one, they're trying to do heavy metal and thrash. And just this year, they did put out a sequel of sorts to this called Petro Dragonic Apocalypse. It's one of the ones I'm listening to at the moment from them. So in the first lot from this cabinet here, I've got Tiger Tails, Young and Crazy. This is a Welsh glam metal band from Cardiff, I believe. And this is on Music for Nations. If you like your glam metal, they're a good band. Okay, this one, I've got two ones when I started looking for music again on cassette, and there was two ones that were on top of my list. This was one of them, and I managed to get both of them pretty quick. This is a New Zealand hard rock band. This came out in the 80s, 1980s. They were formed in 1982, but this is 1987. It's called Out for the Night. Here we go. This was one I really wanted. Found it pretty quick. And it's on here. So that's Nightshade Out for the Night live, a live album. I got a couple of AC/DC Razor's Edge, Albert. There we go. And that's, of course, got Thunderstruck, big hit for them. And I've got Blow Up Your Video. It's a shell. Danger, Danger. This was another one I used to play when I was in my car. That's why I used to collect cassettes, because you could play them in your car. Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. This is their 9th album, came out in 1991. Little faded, this one. Much like the one I used to own. This, of course, got Pound Cake in, Eddie Van Halen, and then there's the sound at the beginning of that song, Battery Operated Power Drill. Another good album I like from them. Waiting for a reissue. Right, the next lot are Motley Crue, in no sort of order. The John Corabi one. Yeah. Reasonably heavy one, that one. And then Too Fast for Love. There you go. Shout at the Devil. So the only other one I'm looking for from Motley Crue is Theatre of Pain. Here we go. Faster Pussycat. Whipped. Ugly Kid Joe. As ugly as they want to be. Yeah. Candlemas Mass. This is the 8th album, released in 2005, and this was the band's last album with the singer Messiah Markelin. I just, from Candlemas, I have this cassette, and I've got Ancient Dreams, I think it is. Yeah. So this says limited edition of 300 copies. I bought this from a guy at the record fair, and he had about 3 or 4 copies of different Candlemas ones. But I bought this one. The songs on it. Okay. Pretty minimal artwork on this one, but that's a good one. I like Candlemas. Okay, that's the first tray. Next tray. Mortal Sin, Face of Despair. This is an Australian thrash metal band formed in 1985. So this came out in 1989. Right, so got a phone call. As I was saying, Mortal Sin. So this is a really good thrash album. I recommend this. It's on a Vertigo. So some of these, I was waiting to do this video because I wanted to sort of complete a bit of a collection with the Motley Crue before I showed it, and that Mortal Sin one, I'm trying to get from Mortal Sin their 1986 album Mahimic Destruction. That's the one with the demon on top of the opera house there, but who knows. All right, so next one, Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. Okay. Death, Symbolic. So this is their 6th album by the death metal band. Came out in 1995. Chuck Schuldiner. Roadrunner. Famous death metal album. Right. Okay. Death, Individual Thought Patterns. Death, Leprosy. Kiss, Crazy Nights. Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss. This is their 5th album, came out in 1990, and it's got the song Dead Skin Mask on it. The Beast of Alice Cooper, a compilation of his songs. I used to listen to, I think, this on CD, and when I started collecting cassettes, I saw that. It's actually a really enjoyable listen, this one. It starts off with School's Out, all the hits. Yeah. Get into the Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark. One of my first cassettes I got, actually the first Iron Maiden album I ever got was Iron Maiden. Like I said, when I went through those bins in record shops, I got this one without the cover. I played it all the time. So when I had to find this one in good condition, great album. Definitely one of my Iron Maiden favourites, that one. And Anthrax, Among the Living. So it's a bit faded, this one. So it's probably been on the dashboard of somebody's car, I would think, at some point. Def Leppard, On Through the Night. Down to the last ones. Nuclear Assault, Game Over. So this is their first album, came out in '86. It's got some epic songs on here. I think this is actually a Philippines cassette. The guy was selling them, they were all from the Philippines. It's got a really good shell on it with the logo on it. I like that. All right, so there's Nuclear Assault, Game Over. And a recent edition, Metallica, 72 Seasons. Just leave this in the shrink. All right. Yeah. And finally, as I was saying, I've got 2 grails that I had to find. This was one of them. This is a compilation, probably one of the best compilations I've ever owned. Came out in 1993. It's a New Zealand compilation, and it's just got all the songs of the time. So when I was listening to this, I think I was about 23, and we'd play this at a friend's student flat in his tiny room that was just about room enough for a bed and a desk, and we'd just play this over and over again. And while we were playing FIFA, the soccer game, the first FIFA soccer game, I don't know, now it's up to probably 30 something FIFA games, and this was on the Sega Mega Drive. So we just have a great time playing the soccer game, video game, and just listening to this over and over. So it's got early Soundgarden single Outshine, so it starts off well with that. And then it's just got acts like Sonic Youth, Rage Against the Machine. So we'd be singing along to Killing in the Name Of, and then shouting out all the FU parts to it. Just great memories of this cassette. And I managed to pick this up, and it's in perfect condition. So one of my top cassette finds was this. The cover looks like Eddie Vedder, one of Eddie Vedder's shirts, and of course it's got the parental advisory label. It's got Everglade by L7. It's got Jesus Built My Hot Rod by Ministry, and I've also got it on CD. So you can pick that up for peanuts, but there's a whole series of these trip compilations. I think there's about 10 in New Zealand, and this was one that was just part of my listening at the time, and brings me right back to those good times sitting in a stinking student flat and playing video games and listening to this music at the time. Right, so that's my cassette video, my long promised cassette video. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope all you guys that love your cassettes like that. And thank you for watching my videos and subscribing and commenting. So let me know which ones of these cassettes that you have or you like, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.